The maybe pile. They're the things that you don't love but don't hate either, that you feel would be a total waste to completely get rid of, but also feel might be a little bit too much to put back into the closet. How do you decide what stays and what goes? Since this is often the hardest component of decluttering, I'm about to share 6 questions that will actually help you to make easier and quite possibly quicker decisions when it comes to these items, so that you can get back to the part where you actually enjoy stepping into your wardrobe again. Once you've started the decluttering process and have dealt with your absolute yeses and nos, aka the keepers and the non-keepers, you can refer to this list to make easier decisions about the items in your maybe pile, so that you don't have to spend hours agonizing over what stays and what goes. The good old have you worn this in the last year? Whether or not you wore this item in the past year, and yes, I do mean the last 365 days, should be a great first indicator of whether or not this item is worth keeping in your wardrobe. If it hasn't been touched in the past year, you're probably keeping it for reasons other than planning to wear it. So the next questions in this video are going to help you decide whether it's a keeper or not. And if you have worn it in the past year, then you can go ahead and skip to the next question. How often do you need this item, or do you have an opportunity to wear it? I've held on to items for those just in case scenarios more times than I would like to admit. This is a question that you have to be super honest with yourself about. Is this something that you need on a regular basis, whether it is for work or for school or maybe an extracurricular activity that you do? And if not, and it's a very specific type of item, for example, a party dress, how often do you actually have the opportunity to wear it? This is where you have to be realistic about the type of lifestyle that you actually live. We are not keeping things here for our idealistic versions of ourselves, and along that same grain, our clothing can often hold past versions of ourselves that are no longer relevant to the lives that we currently live. The next 2 questions will help you dive a little bit deeper if you're still not sure. Do you have something similar that you would choose over this particular item? If you are keeping this item and you've decided in the past question that it is a keeper because you need it on a frequent basis, check your yes and keep pile to see if there is something in there that you already wear frequently and would actually favor over the item in your maybe pile. I do think there is a place for duplicates, for example, items that you wear multiple times a week that are maybe basics like a white t-shirt or a certain type of jean. But if this is a more specific item and it's not super basic and not necessarily an essential, there might be something that you already have that you would favor more. So it does come down to how often you need this item and whether or not having a duplicate is actually necessary for your lifestyle and your needs. Would you buy this again if you were shopping right now? Over time, our tastes and preferences change, and while our signature pieces, aka our frequent flyers like, your regular pair of jeans, might remain the same, the items that we use to express ourselves fully from time to time may change form. So this question helps to address whether or not this item is a fit for your current lifestyle, where you're at in life, and also your current personal style, because this does often change. If you're not really sure what your personal style is, I do have a video on that here that you can watch right after this one. Here's an example just for some context. Maybe what you're known for in your outfits and what makes you you is a pop of red in every outfit that you put on. But that red leather jacket that you used to wear all the time now feels outdated and maybe a little bit too loud for your current preference. But since it feels like a unique expression of yourself, it might actually feel really difficult to part with. If you wouldn't buy that same item right now, then it's probably a sign that this particular way of expressing yourself is needing to change form to fit your current lifestyle and preferences. So maybe it's going to be a red handbag, a red pair of flats, or maybe even just putting on a red lip once you head out the door. Is this item sentimental to you in any way? Oftentimes, our clothes can carry memories of people and places, both good and bad. Only you can honestly say if this is the case for the item that you are holding. These are trickier to declutter because you're worried about losing the memory associated with that item. So what I would suggest here is putting on that item in an outfit that you really love and snapping a photo for memory's sake. Because if we're being honest here, if your goal is to declutter your wardrobe and create a closet that you actually enjoy wearing and have an easier time picking outfits from, then there's really no room for baggage. Alternatively, if this is an item that you are planning to hand down to someone, or it is a family heirloom that is super important to you, then it's probably better to just keep it in storage rather than in the wardrobe that you step into every single day. And down to the last question, which is often a really important one, maybe even the most important in your case, is do you feel guilty getting rid of this item? If you've ever been gifted something and never worn it, but let it sit in the back of your closet for months and months, possibly even years, I'm looking at you. There's no sense in keeping something that is never going to be seen or used, so try to feel good about the fact that someone else might find a lot of joy in this item, whether it is from finding it in a donation center or even just buying it secondhand. Additionally, if you spent a lot of your own money on this item, but you rarely ever use it, I am also looking at you. If you're reluctant to declutter the item because you invested in it so heavily, then you are facing the classic sunk cost fallacy, in which you can't actually see that there is more benefit from decluttering this item versus keeping it stored in your wardrobe. Newsflash, the money is already gone, it has already been spent, so don't let this item steal your time and energy too. In this case, try selling it or gifting it to someone close in your life. Maybe they'll really enjoy it, and also it opens up a door for you to be able to borrow that item from time to time too. For all of the effort that you put into analyzing every bit and piece of your wardrobe during a declutter, you should be able to sleep at night knowing that you got rid of the right things. I hope that these questions help you in making more informed choices about the things that you get rid of from your life and help you to create a wardrobe that you actually love to wear. And if you're not feeling super motivated to declutter, I've got a massive playlist on that. I decluttered over half of my wardrobe just a few years ago, so if you're needing some inspiration, you can check that out up here. I'd love to know what one of your hardest clothing items was to declutter. Mine was definitely this gorgeous turquoise blouse that I had a few years back in that major declutter that I absolutely loved. It looked great on me, I felt good in it, but it just wasn't a fit to my lifestyle, and I rarely ever had the opportunity to wear it, nor did I feel comfortable wearing it for the regular occasions in my life. So it definitely wasn't a regretful decision, but it was one of the more difficult ones. Let me know what yours was in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.